discouraged. They're looking at a very discouraging economy for sure, but they're thinking Barack is ending the war. Obama is going to get us out of there, so they don't need us anymore. I don't think that's true at all. And we voted him in. People voted him in because they were sure he would be better than Bush or McCain. And I'm sure that's true. I'm glad he's in. I'm glad it's not McCain, for sure, obviously. I think this administration is as far from what we need and the world needs as it is from Bush and McCain. And that's a long way. I don't think at all that Barack Obama is going to get us out of Iraq. I think Cindy said that a minute ago, and I had to say, yeah, we're here this year, this anniversary of this shameful aggression, to stop business as usual while the business of the country is war. But we'll be here next year and the year after that. And I would say, I'm afraid, for a long time, unless there's a lot more people who are in your spirit here and are with shoulder to shoulder with Cindy Sheehan and others, and who are really going to change this country. When Barack Obama says that combat operations will be over when he takes out the next 70,000 troops or so and leaves 70,000 there, that's a lie. He's leaving combat units there to do work with to do combat operations with Iraqi troops, to train them, and to do counter-terror operations in Iraq. That's actually combat. And overhead, there will be the helicopters and the 50 caliber and the rockets and the jets will be going on. He's made no promise that they will ever be gone. And they've done most of the casualties of the million-plus casualties, deaths of Iraqi civilians over the last years. He has made it clear that he means to keep a residual force, quote, of 50 to 70,000 there. They will be dying and killing as long as they're there. And unless we, the people, press Congress to stop that, they will be there as long as McCain talked about, 50 to 100 years, because the oil doesn't run out before that. And I think Israel will still want them there at that point in those bases. So we have a lot of work ahead of us. And not only in that sphere, obviously in Afghanistan, where the country knows he's going in the wrong direction. Nearly everybody knows that. And including the police in San Francisco. And let me come to that in just a moment. But and that's the good news. But he's going in the wrong direction. The drones, the attacks in Pakistan, killing civilians there, recruit more Al-Qaeda than they ever kill, for sure. So wrong direction there, weakening a rotten government, which may well be replaced by a still worse government, unless he's turned around on that. We have, even on the economy, we see that by putting in people like Geithner and Summers, the people who deregulated the economy and started this catastrophe back under Clinton, are back in charge. That is almost incomprehensible, except for a concern for the bankers that they clearly share, and which we have to feel that Obama shares at this point for putting them in. How can the American people be putting up with this to the extent they are? How can they believe that we're getting out of Iraq, which I think is as untrue as it was untrue for Richard Nixon in 1969, when he was drawing down forces with no intention of ending that war short of victory. It was the threat of criminal prosecution that got him out of there, kind of chance. There was no chance that he was doing crimes, but it was chance that he was caught and chance that Watergate removed him so that he couldn't keep the air power going as, I believe, he intended. I know he intended. And Barack Obama, I believe, intends to do in Iraq. The good news is what happened on the streets, actually, today. First of all, we did close down the whole intersection. And but not alone. Not alone. There were maybe 15 of us, maybe 20, but there were dozens and dozens of cops who were doing the same job we were, stopping traffic, lined up, surrounding us and so forth. No traffic. Two streetcars backed up, 2 buses, and a lot of traffic there for really more than an hour. I was surprised they were letting us stand there that long. And then when they did arrest us, so as I say, I'm high now. I started the day not in such a good mood, but as always happens, spending hours in a cell with the kind of people you go to jail with on an action is very exhilarating. And they said there was more to it than that. It wasn't just the good people like Dave Hartsoe, and just came back from 2 weeks in Iran, or Martin Edwards, who spent the shock and awe days with Kathy Kelly in Baghdad 6 years ago, watching the cruise missiles go into the buildings at that point. And he was there today, getting arrested. After they arrested us the first time, or I should say they arrested us, and then they informed us, here's a citation. You don't have to go to jail at all. This was a first. If you go back, you'll be arrested. And well, all right. So I went back, and I was in the alone at first in the middle of the street, thinking I'd be pulled off right away. Again, there was a streetcar right behind me, but it stopped. And then joined by a couple other people, and the chief sheriff there, the policeman, was not happy about this. And he said, as they'd said before I lay down, he said, this time you'll stay until Monday. Can't get it. It's a Thursday. You've got to stay until Monday. It's a second citation. You're not going to get out. I said, well, so be it. So he came this time with the warning and said, now, to the several of us, you've made your point. You've achieved your goal. You've achieved your goal. Now you can leave, and it's over. If you were to stay, no one will know you're inside, and you'll be until Monday and so forth. I said, our goal is to help shorten this war, and that is not. We're not here to make a point. We're here to stop business as usual, and that's what we're doing. You're doing your job, and we're doing our job. And he then got huffy, not for the first time, and he said, you're just going on. There's no point to it. You're prolonging this. You're costing the taxpayers money. He said, you're just being selfish. Now, I was arrested about that time. Had I continued the colloquy, as we say in court, with them, I was thinking that I might have said to myself anyway, if enough people were selfish like this in the country, we'd save the taxpayers real money. I said, shorten this war by a half hour, by an hour, by a day. Can you imagine what that would mean to the taxpayers? But I didn't argue with the cop on that. They come in, they handcuff us, they book us again for this time we're in till Monday, and supposedly, and so forth. And by the way, as far as I know, the only reason that didn't happen was I had mentioned to them, I was calling out to people, get the word to Cindy, I can't be there tonight. And they did learn I was missing a speech for Cindy Sheehan, and I think that's why they let us out, actually, in time. So, very good. And that's not just a joke. Ordinarily, that would be a joke. But here's what happened. When we were in there, and we were there from about 1 till 8 just now, they even served us a meal of a kind of bread and peanut butter, which was all right, actually. And so every cop we dealt with, man and woman, said to each of us, thank you for what you're doing. Now, I'll tell you this. Here were some of the words. One woman said, the one actually who first cuffed me, said, we're behind you totally. We agree with you. Everybody here agrees with you. Thank you for what you're doing. We get into the jail, and every person, not just me, they all get the same. They all come in. We shared what we'd heard from the policeman. One comes to the door, opens the door of her cell, and says, you guys are heroes. Now, I've had policemen once or twice, be friendly in a way, and I never talk about it publicly because I don't want to get them in trouble, And I would have normally felt the same way this time, but they all were that way, the entire station. They not only treated us very well, but every one of them indicated, we're with you. You're doing the right thing. Thank you for what you're doing. That was inspiring.